What is going on, guys? It's Cameron and I am reviewing Spider-Man and Deadpool issue 1, the very first issue of these two characters coming together besides being in the Uncanny Avengers comics, which by the way I need to catch up on. Now right off the bat, just by looking at the front cover, I loved it how the Spider-Man logo and the Deadpool logo were kind of cluttered together at the bottom of the comic. I thought that was awesome, and you can just tell by looking at the front cover that these two characters are going to go head to head with each other. You can tell that Spider-Man already doesn't like Deadpool, especially now that Spider-Man has his own Parker Industries company. So I wouldn't say he's a little bit more mature, but he likes to know what he's dealing with, he likes to know what he's doing, and Deadpool is kind of just a guy where he does things off the top of his head and he's a little bit annoying. So we already know that Spider-Man quit the Uncanny Avengers because of Deadpool, so the fact that Spider-Man and Deadpool now have a series together, that's a little bit crazy, and it's only going to get crazier. So for the first time in a while, I'm doing a digital comic giveaway for this issue, and to enter, all you pretty much have to do is just leave a comment on this video and be a subscriber. That's about it. So you can let me know what you thought of the comic, you can just comment saying that you love the video or something, it doesn't matter, just as long as you comment and you're a subscriber, then you're entered into the giveaway. Now usually I do physical comic giveaways, but I don't actually have another comic for this issue this time, so sorry about that, guys, but yeah. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into this review and let's get on with it. So right from the get-go, you can already tell that Spider-Man and Deadpool are just not getting along at all, especially the way that they're positioned. They've got their heads together, almost looking like they're frowning at each other, and you can also get a really quick straight-up approach as to what Deadpool's humour is like and just how annoying he truly is, and almost immediately figure out that the reason that they're in this situation is most likely because of Deadpool. Now this isn't just any normal situation, they are literally in hell because of Deadpool. Now one of the things that I loved was that Deadpool just would not shut up at all. One of the things that I was actually surprised about though was that there wasn't too much fourth wall breaking from Deadpool. Like I was expecting him to like turn to the audience, maybe the reader of the comic, and say something. But maybe it's because Spider-Man's in his presence as well, I don't know. He just really didn't do it that much. Now I am actually proud to say that this comic genuinely had me laughing at some of these laugh out loud moments from Deadpool, even the part where he popped his hip out. The reaction from Spider-Man really made you laugh and just kind of think, wow, Deadpool is crazy. And to be honest, I don't really think Spider-Man could believe it himself. Especially the part where Deadpool's swords cut through Spider-Man's webbing. He was absolutely gobsmacked at that moment, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like Spider-Man was giving a little bit of respect to Deadpool for having swords that could cut through his webbing. It was just really cool. For me, however, I was really disappointed when the comic did a flashback as to how Deadpool and Spider-Man got in that situation. It just seems like a really cliche thing to do, and it seems to happen a little bit too often in the comics. Especially with characters such as Deadpool, like, I don't know, it's almost like I could expect that to happen because of the way the comic started. Honestly, I think I would have preferred it if they just kind of left out how they got there, because all we needed to know was that it was Deadpool's fault. You could tell that it was Deadpool's fault right from the beginning of the comic, so I don't really think they needed to clarify that. But I'd like to know what you guys thought about that, so yeah, let me know. Now one of the things that I did like was the fact that Deadpool is going off a moral compass. It's like an app on his phone where he doesn't know what to do, so he kind of presses a button and it spins a compass and it decides for him. And I have a feeling that that's going to be a major player in the future of these comics, specifically for Deadpool's actions throughout this series, just going off that moral compass. So anyway, as we move throughout the comic, you could see back there that Deadpool was actually using real brains from the morgue to save him and Spider-Man from the mindless ones. And I think that's like a benchmark to suggest just how messed up and silly these comics are actually going to get in this series. Like, Deadpool is going to take Spider-Man on some crazy adventures, and I think this is like the first time where we're going to see Spider-Man get almost as bad as Deadpool in terms of silliness and craziness and all that awesome stuff, and I cannot wait for that. So when I was reading this issue, I was a little bit confused as to whether this was 616 Peter Parker who still owned Parker Industries, or whether this was just a genuine Spider-Man comic with Deadpool. But as you can see, Anna Maria actually phones up Spider-Man and says, Peter, Parker Industries needs you, you're late for a meeting and all this, and that obviously confirms that Peter still owns Parker Industries in this series, and it is our amazing Spider-Man. Now obviously I already knew that it was 616 Spider-Man, but I didn't know whether he owned Parker Industries just because of the costume that he's wearing. As you can see, Spider-Man's not wearing his amazing Spider-Man costume with the glowing green eyes and the green spider and all that. So that's what... Ow, my god, my hand. So that's what had me pretty confused, but it's all good. Now earlier on I was talking about Deadpool being introduced to Spider-Man. He's probably going to get Spider-Man comics a little bit more crazy, and as you can see, Hydro Man, who's a Spider-Man villain, has gone full blown crazy. Like, we've never seen Hydro Man like this before. So I think you can already see that the craziness of Deadpool is already rubbing off into the Spider-Man villains. Maybe not necessarily into the Spider-Man comics like the Amazing Spider-Man, but maybe into some of the Spider-Man characters. I can definitely see that happening, and if it's already happened with Hydro Man, then who's to say that it won't happen with anybody else? Something that I haven't quite mentioned yet is Deadpool's healing factor, and I actually really like how often it's mentioned in this comic. Like, I feel like it's a really major part of this Spider-Man slash Deadpool team-up series. Now, really quickly, I'd just like to point out that that part where Deadpool jumps off the building and the dumpster that he was aiming for was empty, that was absolutely hilarious when I read the comic. I even went back to it for a second time just to read it again because it was just amazing. Now, as I was saying about Deadpool's healing factor, I think it would be interesting to maybe see that used more in the comics in the future. So maybe Spider-Man's about to get shot and Deadpool will like stand in front of him so that he doesn't die, because obviously Deadpool can get shot without dying. So that'd be something awesome to see. I don't know, just something along those lines. Now, something else that proves that Deadpool is an absolute psycho is that the villain at the very beginning of the comic was actually hired by Deadpool, like he was actually working with Deadpool. Another thing, the ending of this comic is complete and utter ridiculousness. It was just so awesome, and it actually gets me really pumped up for issue 2 of this series. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. Will Deadpool actually find out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker? I really can't see how Spider-Man is going to get out of this without him revealing his identity as Peter Parker to Deadpool. But moreover, I'm looking forward to the reaction from Deadpool when he finds out that this is actually Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Like, he's going to get a little bit crazy and I cannot wait. But that is the end of the issue, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. This was the first issue of the Spider-Man and Deadpool team-up series, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 just solely on the ending of the comic. It was brilliant. So that is the end of the review, guys. Don't forget about the giveaway. I will be announcing it in issue 2 of this series. Now, as for keeping up to date on my videos and all of the comic book previews that you're going to see on my Facebook page, follow me on my Facebook page, follow me on my Twitter to hear about when my videos are being uploaded, what comics I'm reviewing on that day or today or whatever's going on. And of course, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I will see you all later.
Halfway up to space.